Nzuri Kabila or NK Swingers about alternative sexuality from a black perspective. We make you think, we make you laugh, and we make you come. I know I normally bring you our episodes from WTF Media Studios. I'm bringing you this exclusive episode one-on-one from my place. I want to extend my apologies for the time off we taken, but with so much time that has passed, I feel like it's past time I bring you some brand new content. Big Bang Pegasus will be joining us as usual. Congratulations to her, as she just became a grandmother to a beautiful baby girl. Look forward to her return. As a matter of fact, if you're looking forward to her return, you can check us out Saturday at the event. More on that in the future. Now, before I get into that, I wanted to tell you guys to make sure that you guys are checking us out and staying in touch with us on all of our platforms to stay connected, man. And if you guys are in the NYC and Jersey area, actually you can reach out to us about our group chat. But I want to make sure that you guys are following us on all of our platforms. Like and subscribe our YouTube and hit the bell so that you get notifications. We're available everywhere you can get your podcast, every motherfucking where, which includes, but it isn't limited to, Apple Podcasts. We're on Google, we're on iHeart, and more. You can catch us on Full Swap Radio and K97 FM, the adult party station. And to support Tribechat, because we need your support. We need your support in order for us to continue to bring you this platform. Check out our merchandise store via Teespring. Yeah, we actually got some brand new fresh shit. See, you guys are familiar with the Nzuri Kabila merchandise that we had available, and that's also available in multiple colors, but you guys need to check out the Tribechat merchandise, which is also available as well. Like, you guys can get some mugs, you can get some hoodies and shit because it's cold outside. So the abundance of merchandise, hoodies and pillows and sleepwear and such is available to support Tribechat, man, and keep you guys looking fly and fresh in this season. And also you guys can check out our Patreon, and you can always make a one-time donation via PayPal as well. We appreciate your support, which gives us the ability to continue to deliver this show to you. Now, what I did mention before, as far as our event, the next event that we got coming up is Saturday. That's our Fuck Valentine's Day. You guys know our annual Fuck Valentine's Day event. We're going to be in Jersey City, and we're at a brand new location. And of course, Pegasus will be there. You know, I will be there. And our friend Afro Candy, she will be there. If you guys have noticed the flyer, you'll see that Afro Candy, Nollywood singer, actress, and adult film performer, will be joining us at the Lifestyle Lounge. And you guys need to click that link, man, for real. I'm going to be doing an episode there. We're going to sit down with Afro Candy and a few other vendors and a few other people in the beginning of our show, as we customarily do, man. We will have vendors as well as a few special guests, so make sure that you get your tickets before they run out for Fuck Valentine's Day Legacy Alux, Saturday, February 12th, Jersey City. Okay, so moving forward, Nzuri Kabila is the literal Swahili translation for the term beautiful tribe. Keeping with the cultural continuity of the Nzuri Kabila brand, Tribechat begins with the Swahili term for what's the news, Habari Gani. So, the news, of course, is brought to you by Ashley Cobb's Gossiping Gasms, our friends. As a matter of fact, I gotta talk about Ashley a little bit. But let's get into our first story. So, for our first story, her wife plans a birthday orgy for her husband, but he ditches it for a solo trip. Nigga, cut out and say, yo, fuck that orgy, I'm getting doing my own shit. Alright, so a Philadelphia couple, Annie and Mal, are one of the couples on a Showtime reality series, Couples Therapy, which shows couples with struggling marriages remedied by therapist Dr. Orna Gornalink. I'm sorry, doctor. But during one episode, the duo brought up a celebration from years prior where Mao canceled his birthday orgy, which would have included threesomes, a dominatrix, and even costumes because it was too meticulously planned.
What?
Instead, he flew to Italy by himself.
What the fuck?
His reasoning? He wanted zero responsibility and spectacular, enthusiastic, and genuine sex without putting in the work. Motherfucker wants a lot. The orgy, he added, in his bewildering confession, was ruined by all of his wife's planning beforehand. With the birthday, for example, she was putting in all of this effort. He said of the festivities, the things she was doing are things that she could have imagined I would want if she was never paying attention. Yeah, I read that fucking quote. I don't know what the fuck these guys are on. But the confessions gripped viewers who debated whether he deserves overnight infamy or is a total idiot. Wow. How appropriate. Yo, can we drop our jingle right there for that shit?
You are an idiot.
Okay. So, moving on to our next story, BuildABear launches an After Dark series of horny teddy bears. Wow. Whoa, who's about to fuck they BuildABear? So, all right. So, Gossiping Gasms continues as Ashley reports that BuildABear was getting into the adult toy business, launching its adult-themed versions of their stuffed bear toys. As Valentine's Day approaches, BuildABear took to its Facebook page to remind consumers that, wink wink, our gift shop is full of gifts for adults too. Shop a BuildABear After Dark for unique gifts that are sure to get you hugged.
Oh,
you know what? Listen, I'm Omari The Rebel, man. I need to rebel against that advertising, and I also used to work in a corporate and sales background, and I gotta modify that pitch right now. So we need to adjust that. Shop a BuildABear After Dark for unique gifts that are sure to get you sucked and fucked too. Yeah. Now, who's about to go get you a BuildABear? Now, I know y'all listening, y'all about to get one. Yo, so grab one of those. But, moving forward on the official BuildABear website, there isn't a whole lot of overt advertising for this After Dark line. The link included in the Facebook post, which does lead users to a page of general BuildABear products for adults. The prices range from $15 to $50 for adult-themed bears. Things seem to get as racy as a stuffed animal in a Hugh Hefner robe, or female bears holding glasses and or wine bottles with shirts like "It's wine o'clock somewhere." How naughty. Well, anyway, the reaction to BuildABear's Facebook page has been mixed. Some aren't sure the BuildABear brand can withstand the pressure that a horny lion bear can exert. Others seem to love it. Wow. All right, so moving on to a little bit more of our open marriage, open relationship news on Tribechat. Ayesha Curry shuts down ridiculous open marriage rumors with Steph Curry. All right, so Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry have been fielding some false rumors about their marriage, which first cropped up due to a Dos Moi blind item about a couple who aren't as faithful in love as they seem. Per Complex, the full blind read have it in a good authority that his well-known NBA couple aren't as faithful in love as the social media and image make them out to be. They both have side hookups and flings, but keep it very private to keep up with the perfect family image they show to the world. Interesting. I would like to see some more damn receipts. I was shocked to learn that they've been together for so long, but Ayesha shut down her open marriage claims in the comments of a recent photo of Steph, which she captioned, "Good gracious God Almighty." What the fuck? What type of auntie shit she be on? Anyway, yo, listen. She said, my baby's GQ cover shoot. In response to a follower who accused her of wanting an open relationship, Ayesha replied, "Don't believe everything you read. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Don't disrespect my marriage like that. Please and thank you. Now, I just want to say, man, listen, it's funny how, like, when we have this conversation about relationships and exactly what we know to understand relationships to be, people just always are so shocked when there's anything that deviates from what we know is the conventional monogamy. Anything that's just a man and a woman and a traditional marriage, getting married in the church, and there is no deviation. There's not even no sexual deviation going on in between them that's supposed to be encouraged, man. But listen, look. There's no disrespect to a marriage because people are loving the way they want to love. And what we need to do is respect the fact that everybody doesn't love how you love. And if we're really going to be accepted and we're going to be moving to the progressive woke world that we claim to be in, then we need to know that not every fucking body is monogamous. And that is okay. So there's no disrespect if someone thinks that. Just like nobody thinks any less of anybody in the LGBTQ community, because if someone thinks you're gay or someone thinks you're trans, it's not an insult. So if somebody thinks you are in an open marriage, it's not an insult, motherfucker. So, thank you, Ashley, for bringing us some news. So, more on Ashley. So, Ashley Cobb, we met in Atlanta, Georgia at Kingstop. You see, we had a friend, Queen. She has a place called the Sac Playhouse. This is where we met Ashley Cobb. Shout out to Ashley. So, Ashley made a list of the best black podcast about sex, erotica, kinks, and more, right? Yo, this is a really compelling list. You can get a whole lot of information on Ashley's website. She actually did throw up the event that we had for January, which we ended up having to postpone. But I want to say something about this list. We ain't on the motherfucking list. Ashley, you see every damn episode, everybody who listens to Tribechat, you guys know that we bring up Ashley every time we talk about the news, Habari Ghani's news segment. She's like almost an official writer for the fucking show. Ashley, this is how much we love you. This is how much we hold you down, man. We ain't getting that love. Damn, Ashley. But let's go into the list real quick. Actually, I did check out this list, and I'm fucking with a lot of people on here. So, coming in at number 10, Angela Yee's lip service. Angela Yee, what the fuck? Why did you give Angela Yee's lip service recognition? Angela Yee's on the Breakfast Club. She's a millionaire. What the Angela Yee don't need that recognition. We could use that recognition, okay? And coming in at number 9, the Bonnie Breakdown. Coming in at number 8, Good Moms, Bad Choices. I'm familiar with this podcast. This is two mothers who actually talk about sex positivity, and they smoke weed on their show. They based in LA, and they were over here one time. And coming in at number 7, and then we have Sex. As a matter of fact, they were just recently featured on Horrible Decisions. This is a black brother and a black sister. Coming in at number 6, the Black Widow podcast. Coming in at number 5, Kinks with Kiki. Kinks with Kiki came in the top 5 spot, and Kiki don't even have a YouTube. You can't even see Kiki's country ass, man. Kiki was actually on an episode of Tribechat, man. How the fuck, you see, man. Well, yo, shout out to Mambo Kiki, man. Yo, go ahead, Kiki. Coming in at number 4, Inner Hoe Uprising. This also, I got put on to Inner Hoe Uprising because they were on an episode just last year before I was on an episode of Horrible Decisions, and which is a little bit of controversy with. You guys are familiar with this term. It's called misgendering. This is when we have, the gender fluid community. You don't use the correct pronouns. You don't address them correctly. You don't address them the way that they choose to be addressed. This is how you misgender somebody. This is sometimes it's done in what they call a micro or macro aggression. It's done to piss somebody off. That's why they don't like it. They don't know if you're doing that because you're making an honest mistake or because you're trying to be an asshole. So this is why people don't tend to like that shit. But this is what happened on that show. I'm running off a little bit, all right? So coming in at number 3, Cocktails. Dirty Discussions. These two sisters are from Atlanta, Georgia. Follow their podcast. Coming in at number 2, the big homies, of course. Horrible Decisions, Wheezy and Mandy. Of course, the two sisters from Florida And they have, of course, gave us a boost by helping us out by letting us come to the studio and record our show and coming in at #1. Also, who made an appearance on Tribechat, Harder Soft Podcast.
Congratulations!
Yeah. So you guys make sure that you follow this list, man. For real. I'm hoping that Ashley can give us some time to add a couple of more people, because aside from myself, there's a few people that I would like to see on this list, man. But moving forward, I wanted to talk a little bit more about swinging and sex. So one of the things that comes up a lot is this, though. You see, every time I get into this conversation, you know, people have this I'm sorry. Every time I get into this conversation, people have this idea. They have this idea that, I know this is a popular theory that came up, that swinging somehow started in like the 1950s somehow with white Air Force pilots. We also get into this thing culturally. I know that there isn't every single thing that belongs exclusively to the black culture, and I just want to say that it's not about making everything belong to our culture, but just making sure that the contributions to our culture, because this is Black History Month, I want to make sure that we get recognized for, and I got a little bit of Black history at the end of the show for y'all. So when it comes to the origin of swinging, let me actually unpack. So you guys are also familiar with the website called Swingers Help. So Swingers Help, how I got to get familiar with them is I got a tag one time on Twitter from a organization whom I seen following me, and then we followed them, called Swingers Help. It's run by a therapist, Dr. Georgia, and Dr. Georgia writes so much information. There's so much comprehensive articles about what you can do, like how to deal with going to your first party, and how to deal with jealousy, how to deal with race. There's so much. So in this article, what they did one time is they mentioned us as resources for swingers of color, right? So I take my time to say thanks and also go through some of the information that they have, because it's great, and I share it with my group. I share it in the group chat. I always share it on our social media whenever I get the chance to, if you guys are familiar. All right, so shout out to Swingers Help. But Swingers Help wanted to unpack the origins of swinging, so let me actually get into that a little bit. So the history of evolution of swinging. The true origins of swinging might never be discovered, with much of the history of the sexual practice being lost to time. However, there are some things we do know about the history of swinging, and it's clear that it has been a part of our culture since the beginning of human history. So moving forward to the ancient spouse swapping. Swinging in some form or another might have been a part of human history for thousands of years, although it would have looked different, very different to the type of spouse swapping events we have today, formerly polyamory, where two or more men share a wife. Many have been prevalent since the Stone Age. In more recent history, the remains of a socialist community that promoted a utopian town without money, marriage, or monogamy were excavated in the Cambridge countryside. Wow, I think that's way over there by I think that sounds like England. The Manea Fen community was set up in 1838 by farmer and Methodist minister William Hodson, and had up to 150 members at the time. This type of utopia commune has been repeated all over the world and are successful and still survive today. Now, as far as separating fact from fiction, in the modern day West, the history of swinging is highly contested. Author Terry Gould's claims in a book, The Lifestyle, look at the erotic rights of swingers, that the swinging lifestyle started in the adventurous American Air Force fighter pilots and their spouses during the 1940s. It is theorized, So, sounds like that he's saying that did not happen. Yeah. It is theorized that with the high mortality rate for fighter pilots during the war years, close supportive bonds were fostered between the young couples, so if a spouse was widowed, the network of swinging friends would assist in the widow and help the family. Though a romantic idea, this origin story is likely to be fabricated. And more reliable sources suggest that swinging evolved later. Evidence has been discovered that partner swapping has been being practiced by some military couples during the 1950s while the Korean War was going on and continued afterwards as it slowly started to spread into the suburbs. These small suburb swinger networks kept mailing lists that evolved into some of the members-only swinger clubs, which is how it has been traced back into the 1950s and 60s. For more detailed historical information, you could also read Dr. Georgia Fuchs's Swingers Little Helper book. In the swinging 60s, a possible origin of swinging in Europe and the United States comes from the era nicknamed the swinging 60s. So basically, during the civil rights movement is where we have the most evidence of the origin of swinging in the United States of America. This was a time when the sexual revolution, after the invention and wide availability of contraceptive pill combined with new treatments and cures cropping up for many sexually transmitted diseases, people were able to enjoy sexual liberation and explore their desires with greatly reduced potential of bad consequences. The free love movement made swinging more popular across the social classes in various age groups, though it remained considered an alternative lifestyle and perhaps continue to be viewed like this by wider society. The first swinger parties would not have been like the organized events and the special swinger clubs today. They probably started with swinger key parties. Key parties are the most common type of swinger parties represented in mainstream media, though are not very popular with swingers these days. Traditionally, these parties, the male partners would place their keys into the same bowl, and when everybody was ready to pair off with a partner, the woman would randomly select the key from the bowl and pair off with the key owner. Yo, I gotta see that shit, because what the fuck do y'all do if you ain't have a car? So what do people in how did y'all have key? So was there key parties in New York? What did y'all do? Put your house keys in the bowl? All right. After the 60s, swinging dipped in popularity, but had another surge in popularity due to the internet in the late 1990s. Today, the practice of swinging itself remains a fringe activity. However, non-monogamy generally is certainly on the rise and increasing each year. As attitudes towards sex and relationships continue to develop, modern societies are moving towards freer attitudes to the relationships. The rise of swinger dating websites and smartphone applications make it easier than ever to find like-minded people. That's the fucking phrase right there, like-minded people with the same sexual interest. Many mainstream dating sites now support non-monogamous dating profiles. Wow. So, I actually wanted to get into moving forward into a question. So I got a friend of mine, and he submitted a question. So I wanted to play this for you real quick, guys. And let's see what he has to say.
Hey there, Tribechat. Black Hat Guy here. I'm an advocate for pornography and the literacy that should come with it. Most importantly, fostering the respect that really and truly is deserved by so many performers. My question would be, I guess, how do we get men to start talking about female pleasure as it pertains to sex in a less self-serving way? And in extension to that, maybe help them to understand the history behind women's sexuality and how that seems to inform the perception of double standards that a whole load of men feel hard done by.
Yo, that's a good question when it talks when he says something about bringing up centering black female pleasure, and of course trying to get them to understand history. Well, listen, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to that, but I wanted to talk a lot about that specifically because, you know, this is Black History Month, and actually, to tell you the truth, there's never no time for us to learn more about ourselves. But as it applies to that, the first thing I want to say is this, though. We need to make sure that we need to look at each other and look at women as human beings and understand them as unique individuals, you know, and understand that they have the unique personalities and thoughts and make up their unique desires and such. So one thing that's going to take precedent is always getting to know them. You know what I mean? We have to, first off, rethink what it takes. We have to rethink of what engaging with women is like. We have to rethink, you know what I mean, the idea of it, you know, being a little bit predatory when it comes to, well, not a little bit predatory. We have to rethink the idea of making it predatory at all, as, you know, looking at women as conquest or making sex something that like happens to a woman. You know what I mean? Because it's like, let him hit it. Those type of words, that type of language, you know what I mean, doesn't send the message of equity, which isn't equality, is equity that they want, right? So I'm speaking for women right now, you know, which sounds like this may be a little bit of an issue. So I was on Ashley Cobb's Instagram page, and I came across this video, right? So I want you guys to get familiar with this word right here.
Have you ever heard of the sexual practice Kunyaza? Kunyaza means to urinate, but not literally. It's just an expression for female ejaculation, but it's basically a technique that men use to give their women explosive orgasms. The term originates from Rwanda, but the act itself is practiced in multiple African countries such as Burundi, Western Tanzania, Western Uganda, and the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. What's interesting is how this practice centers female pleasure, which is so different to what we're taught in the West. What's also interesting is how this seems to be a key aspect of masculinity for Rwandan men, as not being able to sexually satisfy your woman is seen as an unmanly thing. What's even more interesting is how the existence of this practice challenges the Western notions of black female sexuality. And I'll tell you why. Kunyaza is linked to labia elongation, which is very popular in Rwanda, as well as other African nations and tribes, especially in Southern Africa. Labia elongation is said to make sex more satisfying for men and women and is a normal part of womanhood for those who practice it. Girls will even help pull each other's labias as a form of bonding. There are patriarchal reasons behind it which are problematic, but my point is that it is normal and is even seen as sexy in many African cultures. One of the main attractions to Sarah Bartman was her elongated labia. She represents the black female body propped up as an antithesis to the white female one. Her bodily features and her anatomy represented the quote-unquote sexual primitive nature of black women, which is obviously untrue, because many pre-colonial African notions on female sexuality, femininity and beauty differed from European ones. Then it clicked in me that black women are hypersexualized in the West, not because we are actually hypersexual, but because white women have a long history of being sexually suppressed by their men. While women in Africa were having mind-blowing orgasms, white women were being told that their orgasms are a mental illness. I know that patriarchy is everywhere and there are many African countries which sexually suppress their women also. But my point is that black women really need to start looking outside of the West for representations of black female sexuality and femininity in order to liberate us from the harmful rhetorics that we have been conditioned to believe about ourselves. And Kunyaza is a great start. It represents black female sexuality in a good light. It centers our sexual gratification and pleasure. It represents sexual equality despite overarching patriarchal beliefs. And it helps us to view our bodies outside of a white gaze.
Drop a bomb for that sis right there, man. Damn. So listen. Knowledge is power, man. I always wanted to tell everybody that, listen, I myself, I actually don't have any formal or educational training when it comes to psychology or the fields of sexuality and relationships. But what I do is we surround ourselves with people who could lend things to the conversation, their fields of expertise. You know what I mean? Whether it be people like Dr. Jana Gallagher, you know, who came on our show, you know, everybody who has been on our show has a field of expertise. You know, you can talk to, if you want to know stuff about the concept of if you want to know stuff about non-monogamy from the aspect of mental health professionals, you can also talk to Dr. Jana. I'm sorry, I said talk to Dr. Jana. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of podcasts on the subject. You know, but I want you guys to make sure that you continue to educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And don't stop at the information that people have to just give you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of information that you may have to fact check and do research on. So just don't make it everybody's responsibility to have to perform the labor to make you informed. Make sure that your quest for knowledge will lead you to see if you can get the information yourself, right? So guys, make sure that you guys follow us and subscribe. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all on February the 12th. I hope that everybody pulls up to the event. And hoping that you guys are going to join us. We will return. I'm telling you, we are returning to WTF Media Studios, and we're gonna drop some episodes. If you guys be patient with us, I'm probably gonna give you a couple of more bonus episodes to make sure that I'll stay in touch. So the next time I will be joined by Big Pink Pegasus, of course. We may be bringing you this episode straight from our event in Jersey City. And you guys, if you want to leave any questions, if you guys want to submit a video or a question, we will air it on the show. You know what I mean? So be patient with us right now. I'll air it right now on the show. If you guys have a good question about sex, about alternative sexuality, or perhaps about relationships and such, we can look up. I'll be happy to play your question and see what we can come up with. And you guys, you know how to contact us. Just click the link in the bio. Our email is inzurikabila@gmail.com. Man, like I said, click the link in the bio. My name is Omari The Rebel, and this is Tribe Chat, guys.